What's going on YouTube? We are back with another video this week, and this time it's something a little bit different. This week we are working with another Australian company called the Insect Shop. The Insect Shop is a company based out of Sydney, Australia, that's primary focus is the ethical and captive breeding of Australian native insects and invertebrates. These guys not only supply captive bred insects for the Australian hobby, but they also provide everything you need to take care of them, from bioactive supplies all the way down to custom built enclosures. They really have a lot to offer, and I highly recommend you go check them out. After watching a lot of the Ants Canada YouTube channel, I decided that insect life was something that I really wanted to incorporate into the Thailand themed jungle build. So after a few conversations with the Insect Shop, they agreed to put together a mystery box for me. The only parameters that I set for this was I did not want anything that could bite or sting me or the animal being housed inside this vivarium. And with that set in place, a couple of weeks later, we received our mystery package. Now, I've honestly not been this excited about bugs since I was about 10 years old, catching them in the backyard and keeping them in a glass jar with some holes punched in the lid. But it's really nice to get back to those roots, and I was very excited when this package rocked up. The first thing that struck me was how nicely this was packaged. The boxes are high quality, very neatly packaged, everything was tight and secure. And despite Australia Post's best efforts of trying to trash this parcel, it all looked really nice. First thing out of the box is a species list of what is contained, including scientific names, which is really nice because it allows me to do some research on these species further, which obviously being a mystery box I wasn't able to do ahead of time. Next out of the box, stickers. Now, I don't care how old you are, stickers are cool, so I was pretty pumped when I saw a whole bunch in here. Plenty of different ones, all different species of insects, and these guys are going to look right at home on my business diary, filling in the gaps in between the other business stickers that I have on there. The attention to detail that these guys put in is astronomical, and these stickers are a testament to that. Even though it doesn't seem like a big deal, it's these little things that make the experience more enjoyable, and I think it's a really nice touch. As you can see, everything's packed nice and tightly, and each and every species is in its own little bioactive bubble, which is really nice to see. No bare bones, not just a container with some wet paper towel. Everything these animals need to feel safe and secure has been provided, which is another detail that I really, really appreciate. First animal out of the box is something that I was really, really looking forward to. These are mangrove slugs. Unlike most species of slugs, these guys are actually detritivores, which means they will be feeding on the decaying leaf and wood matter within the habitat. This means that none of my nice lush plants are at risk from these guys, and I think they add a really interesting little element to the habitat. Next up is something that I was pumped to see included in this box. Now, I've always had a love for Mantis. Doesn't really matter what the species, I think these guys are just plain old awesome. This particular specimen is called a grass mantis. The grass mantis is one of Australia's longest-bodied mantis species, capable of lengths of up to 90 millimeters. These guys can be found all up and down the east coast of mainland Australia and are found in a variety of habitats that tend to be more dry and arid areas. Now, dry and arid is not what we were going for when setting this vivarium up. However, there are little microclimates within this habitat that will suit this animal's needs. Included in this mystery box are a variety of isopod species. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not up to scratch when it comes to being able to identify the different species of isopods. However, I believe these guys here are the powder blues. These next guys, although they look quite similar, they are a lot larger, which leads me to believe that these guys are the giant pill isopods. These next guys are called brush millipedes. These are by far the biggest millipedes I have ever seen in person. And after doing a little bit of research, it turns out they are capable of reaching up to 80 millimeters in length. So it will be really cool to see these guys grow and thrive in this habitat. This next one contains another species of isopod, and I'm not 100% sure on which species these are, but they are quite small and yet seem quite bold. Up next is yet another species of isopod. These guys are believed to be the red fringed Helms merloned isopods. They're quite big in stature and look kind of similar to the powder blues. However, along the edge of their skirts, they've got a little bit of lighter red tinting to them. So these will be another cool one to see foraging around the leaf litter. This one honestly had me stumped for quite a while. It wasn't until I took the time to remove the lid and do a bit of gentle digging through the substrate that I realised what was inside. This guy is known as the dwarf red centipede and spends a lot of his time beneath the substrate. Unlike his larger cousins, these guys stay quite small, only reaching 2 to 3 centimeters in length, and tend to be a lot less aggressive than their larger counterparts. These next guys are really cool. They are known as the Aluca bristle or hairy snail. They are found in the Aluca region in New South Wales and spend most of their time beneath the leaf litter, coming out at night to feed on vegetation. The Aluca snail is quite a small species, reaching about a centimetre in diameter at full size. This, combined with the small numbers within the vivarium, will mean that the plants will receive as little damage as possible while still being able to enjoy the presence within the habitat. Up next, we have another large container of isopod. These guys, I believe, are the Agent Orange, and they are very, very active, which is really cool. They are quite a small species, but again, seem quite bold, quite active, and I'm looking forward to seeing them within the habitat. Another unique species included in the mystery box was the trilobite roaches, which I got a breeding pair plus a baby. And last, but certainly not least, we have a staple of the bioactive hobby. These guys are springtails. They live within the substrate, breaking down any decaying organic material, including fungus, mold, and various other bacterias. Springtails are an absolute necessity in any ecosystem. The smaller counterpart to the isopod, these guys break down the smaller organic materials that the isopods miss. As you can see here, when I uncover them, these guys are running all over the place. This is a very healthy culture of springtails and a very welcome addition into our ecosystem. As we get to the next box, these are all the care items that the insect shop can provide to help you care for your insects and invertebrates. Once again, beautifully packaged. Everything's in there nice and tight and snug. And it's really nice to see these guys put the time in to make sure everything is going to get to where it needs to go in one piece. So these first two packs, we've got some Spanish moss, which is live, and then a bag full of sphagnum moss, which is essential for keeping up humidity, a small spray bottle to assist with hydrating your insects, along with a sponge to assist with insects that are at risk of drowning. This next product is something that I'm excited to try out in a smaller enclosure. This is their rainforest substrate mix. Wasn't really sure what to expect with these two little packages, but as I opened it up, I discovered we had a glass eyedropper. Once again, amazing that these guys went to the effort to put extra packaging to make sure these products didn't break in transit. And as we get onto the very last item inside our mystery box, we uncover a small glass vial, once again carefully wrapped, of isopod food. I'd like to give an absolutely massive shout out to the guys at the insect shop. They've been an absolute pleasure to work with, and their attention to detail has been next to none. This level of care and attention to detail is really where the animal industry should be striving to be. So with all that being said and done, go and check them out on all of the platforms. Their links will be in the bio, and I'll see you on the next one.